Hey guys, how's everybody doing? It is freezing outside. But I wanted to talk about something that I've been noticing a little bit on social medias about people just making comments about how they don't understand why others will not leave their abusers. Or about how when I was watching the news the other day and there was a bunch of children being taken from their parents out of a really abusive home, and the children did not want to go. And there was a lot of people making comments about how they didn't understand why the children wouldn't want to get out of the place that they were in. So I wanted to talk about Stockholm Syndrome and trauma bond because they're pretty much the same thing. If you've heard of Stockholm Syndrome, it's when you've been abducted or kidnapped or anything and you're being kept captive for a long period of time. The person that's being the victim is actually the way that your brain works. Your brain is set up to protect you and save your life no matter what. It's going to do whatever it has to try to survive. So your brain actually starts, it flips the situation and it sees all these small things that the captor could have done or the abuser was doing. If you've been in an abusive relationship, you know that it goes from the love bombing stage to slowly getting more abusive, more abusive, more abusive. But then if you're going to leave, they go right back to that love bombing stuff. So the love bombing is meant to screw with your brain so that you see those little times of the abuser being a good person as you see that they have good in them and you believe that you can save them. And you start making excuses for the behavior that they do. Your brain is flipping the situation to make it easier for you to just survive what you're living every day. This is the same thing for kids. For kids, they call it the trauma bond. I actually wrote down the meaning of it. Victims see small kindness as real affection, leading to loyalty, dependence, and a distorted view of their situation. Same thing as Stockholm Syndrome. It's just when the children are raised in it, they just don't know anything different. They depend on their abusers for their complete survival. If you imagine a newborn baby being brought into some of the homes that we're seeing on the news or online or even in everyday, because it's getting to be quite the problem. If you look at all those situations and you realize those kids were brought into that home, as appalling and as repulsive as it seems to you, that's all they know. That's all they know. I've talked before about the things that I've grown up with and the issues that I've had still as a 43-year-old woman that's been in trauma therapy for almost 5 years now, still having to deal with these issues because that's what it was every day. So it's very hard to get these children to change the way that they've been raised, the things that have been enforced to them, the things that they believe about themselves, the things that they've been told every day. The brain does the most growing and the most learning and all at the fastest rate in the first 5 years of your life. And that's a big part of what's going to develop your personality. So these children have been manipulated to believe that they're worthless and that nobody else would deal with them. They're constantly being told that they owe something to their abuser just for being born or just because of whatever meals they're getting or whatever clothes they're getting or whatever roof is over their head if there is one. The abuser is going to tell these children they owe them everything for that. Instead of being the parent that decided to have a child, they blame the child. So everything is the child's fault. Everything is the victim's fault, even in a relationship dynamic. Even if you are not born into this, even if your abusers are not your parents, if it's a relationship, that person is going to Gaslight you is the word that they use in the medical terms, where they're going to turn it around and make you believe that it's your fault. They're fully going to push it on you. So it's very hard to get it through yourself that, wait a minute, this is not my fault. And it seems the longer that you're in that relationship, the harder it is to actually believe that, because you're fully believing that you're worthless. You're fully believing nobody else is going to take you as you are. And it's just not true. Desperately trying to please your abuser. This is also another thing that can go both ways. Children are going to try to please their parents or caregivers or whoever it is to try to make the abuse less and to try to just be less seen. I found when I was growing up, the less that I was even noticed, the better. And these victims of both a trauma bond or Stockholm syndrome or whatever the toxic part, whatever you want to call it, they're all very untrusting. And it gets to the point that they believe that their abuser is the only one that they can trust. That's what they've been told. They've been told not to believe anything that law enforcement says. They've been told to be afraid of CPS. Oh my goodness, my parents were horrible about CPS. Every time that I seen a CPS worker coming, or I was told that there was one coming, it was really scary. And usually afterwards, if any of the children had said anything that the parents didn't like, we'd get beat afterwards. So you have to remember that as well. You have to remember the repercussions that these people go through after those that are there to help leave. Our system is nowhere near perfect. Our system still seems to need every single proof to prove something happened. And it's just not set up to protect the victims. But the more that we can learn, and the more that we can protect ourselves, and the more that we can understand the fact of what these abusers do, no matter the age, because it can start in childhood or it can start when you're in an abusive relationship. It just so happens that the children that start off in these toxic situations with these abusers usually go on to do it again. It's because that's all we've ever known. It's not your fault. The more that you learn, the easier it is. So I just wanted to jump on really quick and talk about that. And if you guys have any questions, or if you guys have anything that you want to add, if I forgot anything, please let me know in the comments below. And if this is on YouTube, like and subscribe, guys, so that we can get more people involved and get this out there. Our mental health needs to be taken as seriously as our physical health. And I fully believe that we would see such a huge difference in the amount of abuse and hate that's going on in the world today if we would just pay more attention. All right. Much love.